Greetings and salutations, this is Emperor Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello.
Well, we have been away a little while, we do apologise for that, but we are back with stuff, and we're going to do a few more unboxing videos and give you a few extra takes, because we have done a couple of these before, but we've been using them a lot more recently and we know a little bit more about them, so hopefully this will help, and I'm not going to say it to the rest of the videos. So what these guys are the Dark Age warriors from the lovely chaps at Gripping Beast, which we use primarily for Hail Caesar, but you can use it for practically anything. Saga as well, you can use them for. So this is the basic box. It's quite a simple box. It's yellow and red, and it's got a picture on it. It's nice. Anyway, on the back of the box we have some pictures of some nicely painted figures and some pictures of some men doing stuff and some pictures there saying also available. You know what, you don't care about any of that stuff, so we're just gonna, what you really want to know is what's inside and what you can do with them. So here we go.
Indeed.
Yes, well we have all these, we'll move them out of the way. That's another bit of box art. You can stick them on the wall and make a collage out of them. They're the bases.
I've got a job in the future.
They come with these bases. I haven't mentioned this, so I've been asked about this before. They come with these bases. We use those ones, these square ones, for Hail Caesar. However, we've based all our Hail Caesar stuff into
Clear.
Could you get a Hail Caesar clear base? The Hail Caesar stuff's at that side. So this is you got bases for practically any game you want, really. All of these can be used for Hail Caesar. You can use them for Saga. You can use them, well, probably not for Saga actually, but yeah, they're handy little bases. What I tend to do is wait until I've got a pile of them, and then I stick them all on eBay because I don't use them. So while I wait for my trusty sidekick to find the other bases, I'll talk about these being green. Yes, they're green, so they're very nice. And here we are with a proper base. Okay, right.
I'll put that now.
Yes, we base on the same bases, but we use the clear plastic bases. Downside is you have to cut the figures off the base, which can get slightly annoying, but it's alright once you get used to it. So down to the actual figures. All the figures are the same stand. So you just get loads of these in the box and they're all exactly the same, so I'm just going to do one of them. So here are the chaps that we are talking about. If we get a nice picture of them. So you have 5 basic poses. You have an assortment of weapons. You can give all of them a slingshot, or you can give them swords, or you can give them, there's only one sword, or you can give them all spears. It's entirely up to you. Given that they're Dark Age and you can use them for practically anything, you will probably be using them as spearmen, because really the slingers are just for sort of slinging your skirmish troops. And you're not going to have many skirmish troops in an army, you're just going to have mainly your normal infantry, so these are the normal infantry. The shields are round shields, so they're pretty generic for the period, because everyone had round shields, and they're pretty good, they're nice little figures. You've got a very nice collection of heads, all the different heads you can use, and you've got hairy heads, beardy heads. It's entirely up to you how you do it. I quite like that because it gives you some nice variety. It's a very good way of turning basically a box full of only 5 poses into completely different figures, because you've got all these different heads you can choose from and stuff, which I think is really cool. And sorry, I have to readjust the camera a little bit. Yes. So that's really what you get in the box, and as I said, you've got quite a few of these. Now I will go into an interesting point with these. Because they're Dark Age warriors, you can use them for anything. So if you buy a box of Vikings, or a box of Saxons, or a box of late Romans, hey, anything Dark Age type period, then you can use these guys for that game. So there are very, very useful figures to have because you can use them for anything. We use these in our Viking army, don't we?
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
We simply paint. If you have a look at our videos, we've got some battles that we fought with them. We just painted jerkin over the top of that to make it look like our Helbeck, to make them look like Vikings, and we use Viking helmets on these because you get spare helmets in the Viking box. So we just put helmets on these to make them Viking, or we leave them bareheaded to make them Saxon. So I think that's quite an interesting thing we do. So if you look through our other videos, you will find that, and we have got some Hail Caesar games we played with them. At the moment, we are rebasing our Hail Caesar stuff onto clear bases, as I said, and with our gaming stuff, what's this stuff called? Dark Ages stuff.
Dark Age
We are rebasing them at the moment to go with clear bases, and we're going to be putting them on round bases. We have done a video before about the round bases. Can you pass me one of those bases there?
Oh, it's nearly got my arm.
You've got these guys. These are bases you slot your figures into the hole. You put a round base on them and you just slot the figures in, and you can use them as movement trays. We are changing to clear, and we're going to be changing to clear round bases because we want to be using them for other games other than Hail Caesar, although we'll still be able to use them for Hail Caesar, but we'd also be able to use them as individual figures to play games with.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few ideas for the Dark Age stuff, so we're going to be getting a lot more Dark Age stuff in future and be doing a big thing about it, so that's what we're doing. Box wise, any questions from you?
Dark Age Warriors?
Yeah.
Well, don't really know.
You don't really know?
No. Oh yeah, every pose in like one of them sets like this. Can you pull one in any figure?
Yes.
So you can just change any of the poses on any figure that you've got?
Yeah, the arms will stick onto any of the figures, so you can use just that spear out of all the boxes and put one of those spears on each of the figures. It's quite good because some of them are sort of lunging with a spear and some of them are just sort of holding the spear upright, or there's all sorts of stuff you can do with them to make them really different, or you can make them all look sort of the same but with enough differences to make them look more realistic. I don't really like when you see gaming tables and you've got 500 of exactly the same figure all pointing their rifle forwards.
Yeah.
That looks silly. It looks silly in ancient stuff as well. I like it to be a little bit rough and ready. Like the way these guys are based, they're sort of all over the place. That's just what I like. 'Cause in real life, life's scruffy, and that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with real life. Clothing wise, they're just basically wearing a pair of trousers, or trews, and what Americans would call pants for some reason. Never understood that. Why call them pants?
Oh yeah.
Americans call them pants. They're not pants. Pants are things. Pants are. What do they call underpants?
Underwear.
Underwear. Yeah. In Britain, pants are underwear. So when Americans say pants, we think they're talking about, and then we think we're having a very strange conversation.
We call them trousers.
We call them trousers because we're civilized, and Americans are colonials, and you know, they're a bit behind us. So often on films and things they seem silly, but you know. So they're wearing pants, and they probably are wearing pants underneath here, but they are Dark Ages. Well, no, the Romans wore underpants, so yes, the Romans definitely wore underpants. I'm just trying to wonder whether or not they wore underpants back then, and they must have done, so yeah, it's okay. So they probably do actually have underpants on, and they have trousers, if you're European.
And if you're like a zombie apocalypse, you say to your friend, "Oh, your trousers have got ripped." All right, thanks, cool. Right, it's the American version. Oh, you got trousers. You got a cut in your pants. How do you know I got a cut in my pants when it's under my trousers? Oh, it's a different word.
Yeah, during the zombie apocalypse, you're not going to worry about that sort of thing. That's not going to be the top thing on your mind. The 400 zombies crawling up the walls would be an example. Yeah, during the zombie apocalypse. Do you often put your examples in the zombie apocalypse?
Yes, actually.
So
every example's in there.
When you're at school and you're doing Latin, what would the Latin for zombie be? Drago. So no, that's Viking. That's Norse. No, it escapes me. No, come on. Think names for zombies. Arabic is ghoul.
Yeah, it's a zombie.
Yeah, zombie. No. Oh, my brain's melting.
Revenant.
Revenant. Right, that's it. So you.
Thank you. Everyone applause me in the comments.
Yeah. So when you're saying you want to. Oh, never mind. I don't know where we're going with this.
I know you started this entire conversation.
Yeah. So they're hairy men and they've got all sorts of cool stuff. Right, the shirt they're wearing is a pretty generic shirt. So it's just like an overshirt thing. So you can actually have some fun painting it if you want to spend a lot of time painting regular infantry. Then you can put patterns in the shirts and stuff. We do that with a few things, but we don't tend to do it with our Dark Age stuff. The Dark Age stuff we tend to just... Well, these guys anyway, the Dark Age warriors, we just tend to paint the shirt one colour and maybe paint some cuffs on it.
Yeah.
That's basically all we do. Because they're sort of the bog standard regular infantry and there's so much of it, you're going to need, if you're going to win a really big game, a decent sized game, you're going to need 3 or 4 boxes of these to every 1 box of Housecarls or 1 box of Vikings, because most of the army wasn't fully armoured up.
No way.
So these are the guys, you'd use them as Viking carols, or as, what was Saxon term for carols?
Thanes.
Use Saxon Saints.
I remember all these words today.
You're quite good at this, aren't you?
It's a bit differently.
Yes, it's not like you. You're usually the one who doesn't know anything.
I'm the person who goes,
yeah. So yeah, these are Vikings. Not Vikings. Yeah, they can be Vikings, whatever. Yeah. There isn't really a downside to the figures. They're very useful things to have. I would have preferred a few slightly different weapon choices, maybe some clubs and stuff, because all you do get is the axe, the sword, or spears, and of course the slings. So you're not going to use many slings, so most of the sling hands are going to be in your bits box for the rest of eternity, and you're going to use all the swords and axes, and then everyone else is going to have a spear. I would have liked to see some clubs and mace, like a mace. No one does maces. You notice that?
That's because the British side people had it.
Yeah, the British had large amounts of maces, but...
That was our main weapon.
Yeah, it was our basic standard.
A mace to a head, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, a mace is pretty one-shot weapon, and you only need 1 shot and the guy's dead, so yeah. Swords are pretty good. They tended to bend a lot because they weren't very well made.
Unless you have a Templar sword.
Or an Ulfbert.
Which is also...
Yeah, steel Ulfbert, yeah, which is made out of folded steel. Far more efficient.
You can just break an enemy's sword. Like Dark Age Warrior versus a Templar. The sword would just snap.
Well, yeah, you just hack your way straight through them.
Yeah.
There's no way these guys would ever stand against proper trained infantry. These guys are just...
They have no armour.
Yeah, that's true, they have no armour, you can see from the box. They're completely unarmoured guys.
Yeah.
They've got a shield which defends them. They're not meant to stand up against enemy infantry much. They're really just...
Hit and run.
Well, they're just your shield wall, and your heavy infantry are the ones who do all the fighting. These guys really support the other guys. Typically, if you try and send these guys in against Housecarls, they're going to die. They're not going to last, particularly in Hail Caesar. I found that to my own. I tried to rush some Saxon Housecarls with these guys, and I had 2 units of these guys, and he had 1 unit of Saxon Housecarls, and he trounced me
No, wait. The match where you sent your entire Viking army at that one
Yeah.
Saxon spearman
Yeah.
housecarl unit, and they survived the whole game.
Yeah, but your guys were using phalanx, weren't they?
No, they just had spears.
They were just spearmen. Right.
Blocked all men out of the way.
So yeah, they're useful figures. If you're doing Dark Ages, you're going to need a few boxes of these anyway, as I said, and they're useful. They're just handy. And when they first came out, I instantly went out and got a box, and we've been sort of using them off and on since for other projects too, because they are very useful little figures. Because they're very generic. Spears were used throughout history. The clothing is generic. It's like an just overcloth. So it's very useful for painting up as anything you want it to be. As I said, I've painted them up as halberds before. I've seen a lot of these used as Jewish infantry in the Roman Jewish War. We went for the Greeks, so we used Greek hoplites as Jewish infantry, unarmoured hoplites, whereas these guys were probably more suited for the Jewish army. But at the time, these guys weren't out when we did the Jewish army. So no, they haven't been out. Well, they haven't been out a while now, but
they came out during the campaign.
Yeah, so we'd already bought all our figures.
So we used these for our Vikings.
So we used these for our Vikings, yeah.
That was our next project.
And we have other projects coming, which these guys will be used for. And yeah, they're really cool. They're useful little things to have. Downside is there's no command in it, so you get no officers and stuff. However, you do get a horn on every single sprue, and I would assume you could use the horn as part of a command unit to make a sort of command unit with a guy with a sword or axe and a horn, like you see the chap in the picture, and have that as part of your command. But there's no actual flags or banners, so you would have to convert one of the spears into a standard if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
What do? We usually use the spare Viking stuff, don't we? Or the spare Saxon
bits
stuff.
And bobs left over.
Yeah, we just use the bits from the other boxes to make command. But that's not really a downside, because these are just regular infantry anyway, so it's not a downer, it's a good one. So that's it. That's really all I've got to say. Did you have any questions?
That was the question.
That was the question.
We had questions and you just forgot because your brain's dying.
Yeah, my brain isn't as good as it used to be, that's very true. So that's it. Please feel free to well, I don't know, you do this bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go on do it.
You want to be able to do it anyway,
No,
if you never want to.
You carry on doing
So
it.
if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think of the Dark Age Warriors. And that's everything from me.
And everything from him. Oh, I will just mention lastly, you can find us at Patreon if you have a look at our site. I'll put a link in the low bar, and if you want to throw us a few dollars, that would be very nice. That's basically a nice thing from me.
It's not a nice thing from you.
As mentioned from me, for you to be nice. Yeah. Just thought I'd mention that.
It supports the channel.
What?
Supports.
Yes, that's it. Why don't you add this to your outro thing? Wouldn't it be cool?
Because we've only just thought of it.
Yeah, good point.
It's the first video we've been saying in here, really.
That's true, that's true. So we have set up a Patreon account, so you can get to us through that. And that would be awesome if you could do that. And we hope to be bringing you some pretty cool stuff later on. We do have quite a few things on the go, and we will keep you updated with what we've got there. So he's already done the outro, so thank you very much for watching. This has been me and him.
See ya.
See ya.